Hey, we're almost through summer heat. Well, and we always talk about humans staying hydrated, but we also need to talk about our pets needing to stay hydrated. So joining us today is Doug of Dr. Kelly's Surgical Unit to help us recognize when our pets are dehydrated, which is so important. Before we get to that, let's talk about what Dr. Kelly's Surgical Unit is all about.
Yeah, so Dr. Kelly's Surgical Unit, we are surgical generalists. We just do kind of soft tissue surgery. Our angle is do affordable surgical care for dogs and cats. We specialize in everything soft tissue, spays, neuters, and dentistry with extractions, mass removals, leg amputations if those necessary. The lumps and bumps that dogs get, dogs and cats also get. Our angle is that's all that we do is just surgery, so we're able to pass the savings on for that efficiency to all of our clients. Yeah, we've got 5 locations in Arizona.
I love it. 5 locations. So, okay. The reason why you really want to come on because you know, a couple of months ago, we had an accident on one of the trails where someone lost their dog in the extreme heat, and people are losing pets in extreme heat because they're not really paying attention to what their pets need when it comes to hydration. So let's talk about some of the things we need to first watch out for and things that we can do to make sure we are hydrating our pets right.
Of course, yeah. Well, if a pet's going to get lost, first thing I want to identify before we get into hydration is microchip your pet. Ooh. You know what I mean? The first thing you want to do is if they're going to get lost, it does happen, go to a veterinarian, us, or anywhere, and get a microchip so if they get lost, someone else finds them, they can come back to you right away. That's the number one. But yeah, like hydration for pets is super important, particularly in the summer months here. They're not people. They don't sweat through their body. They can sweat through their feet a little bit, and then they pant to reduce heat. And they will let you know when they are getting overheated, and you should just relax.
Yeah. Well, you said something very important. I know we have the little booties on there, and those aren't supposed to stay on all day long. They're more really supposed to be on for just really quick to get them out to the restroom, especially if you live in an apartment or something, and then back inside and get them off because you said they sweat through their feet, kind of.
Oh yeah. Well, in Arizona, the concrete and the asphalt gets hot fast, right? And so the way you can identify if the concrete or the asphalt is too hot for your pet's feet is just walk outside. If you could put the top of your hand on the ground and you cannot hold it there for 6 or 7 seconds, it's too hot for your dog's gentle feet. And so boots like this can be helpful for that morning walk. It's also helpful if you're just going to start off and start walking your dog when they're not used to it. You want to go on a trail, you're trying to get some exercise all of a sudden. Their feet are sensitive, same as yours. Like they can get blisters and rub the pads. Yeah. So these can be very helpful for protecting their feet.
Okay, you said about watching their panting. That means they're dehydrated. What other ways we can tell if they're dehydrated?
Yeah, so panting doesn't necessarily mean that they're actually purely dehydrated. It just means that they're trying to reduce themselves of excess heat. Like rabbits have their big ears, dogs have their tongues and their mouths. And so it could be an indication of a few things. It could be an indication of stress or what's going on, but when it's hot outside, once they start panting, you'll notice it doesn't have to be an emergency. It's just an indication that hey, they're getting a little hot. You might want to cool down on what they're doing, get into some shade, or offer a little water if you're out on the trail.
So we have some things up here where are very important. The water bottles, the trays, and stuff like that are very important. But what we have to really watch out for is how much water we're giving them because, again, they might come inside and we want to shove water in them, but you're like saying, don't do it so quickly to them. Let them rest a little bit, right?
Pets are really excellent at self-regulating the hydration they need. You don't need to force feed water in them. If they don't want to drink, it's just not time for them. It's not that they're avoiding it or that they're in some sort of distress. Just offer it. They don't want it. It's not a big deal. Yeah. The amount of water a pet or a dog this size might need varies totally on a given day, what you've been feeding them, where they're at. It's not something to worry too much about. The best thing to do is when it starts to get hot outside, I do at my house, we have water inside, water outside. Yeah. So then they have access to clean, fresh water all times. That they are excellent at self-regulating their water intake.
I like it. Also, tips that you'll find out over at Dr. Kelly's Surgical Unit is one, about shaving them. You don't want to make sure you don't shave them completely because they get sunburned. There's sunscreen stuff to use, which are very important.
So dogs, they have skin. Some dogs have a little more hair on their nose, a little less hair on their nose. There are some products that you can use. Sunscreens, little balms, sprays and such. The most important thing on sunscreen for pets is to make sure you use a pet-safe sunscreen. Okay. There are some very dangerous chemicals for dogs on the sunscreens we use. Make sure you buy specific for dogs and cats.
I like it. There you go. We got information over on the CW7AZ.com about what we talked about, so you can go there and check that out. So, all right, come on back. We got more mix for you after this.